So one of my best friends, she's not here today. She was human trafficked, Naomi Campbell. And Naomi is also Diddy's the godmother. So she started meeting with all these famous people, and they connected her with certain people. And then all of a sudden she's at these parties, and I see she's doing drugs and getting out of control. And eventually I had to start rescuing her from parties. And then a few of the times I had to rescue her from Naomi Campbell's apartment, sleep over. And then I would pick her up and bring her to her apartment because she was so high on drugs.
What kind of drugs was she doing?
Everything. She had they provide the drug for you. So she would open her purse and it would just be everything, whatever you wanted. It was like a pharmacy.
Who would open the purse?
Oh, she would. Oh, she's like, what do you need, Babs? Do you need anything? I would say, I don't do anything. Oh.
I was introduced to him on my 31st birthday by my ex-boyfriend Flavio. He was always front and center at Victoria's Secret shows.
Did you suspect what he was doing?
No. And what he's done is indefensible. And when I heard of what he'd done, it sickened me to my stomach, just like everybody else. Because I've had my fair share of predators. And thank God that I had good people around me that protected me from this. I mean, right now I stand with the victims. They're scarred for life.
Naomi Campbell is now facing intense scrutiny over alleged connections to Diddy and Epstein. And the wild twist is that some reports claim information was handed over by Diddy himself. For years, people thought the controversy around her charity was the only issue tied to her luxury lifestyle. But now the spotlight is way bigger. Suddenly, old whispers are turning into loud accusations, and the internet is not staying quiet about it.
Listen, do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. All the boxes. Okay. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about. Yeah. Did Jay reach out yet? Nah, Bob. He ghosting.
Kind of
she
like,
gets out of it.
Well, she gets money. When you bring models or people that can easily be manipulated, you get funded. You get funded. How does she own an island being a supermodel?
I didn't know she owns an island.
Yeah, she owns an island. But this is crime scene investigation.
Yeah.
But it opens your eyes to things that you never even thought of, and I connect all the dots.
There are serious claims floating around that women were recruited from Africa with promises of modeling opportunities in Europe, only to end up in disturbing situations. These allegations are extremely serious and remain unproven, but they have people talking nonstop. Rumors even suggest some individuals may not have been adults, which makes the situation sound even darker. As many already know, when the Epstein documents were released weeks ago, they named several high-profile figures, and Naomi Campbell's name appeared in those records too. Critics say she has a history of being close to powerful and controversial men, then later distancing herself when scandals explode. This time, though, public reaction feels different, and people are demanding clearer answers.
Received a diamond from Charles.
I didn't receive a diamond, and I'm not going to speak about that. Thank you very much. And I'm not here for that.
Well, we've been told that you didn't help the prosecution sort of in this very important case.
Sorry. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
In the Diddy documentary, I found myself going back down the Epstein rabbit hole, which then led me to the dark side of Naomi Campbell. If you're unaware, Naomi Campbell is one of the original supermodels, one of the first Black women to appear on major publications, featured on over 500 magazine covers, and worked for some of, if not all, of the biggest fashion houses. It's safe to say she has insane connections. One of those being Jeffrey Epstein, publicly admitted that she knew Jeffrey Epstein and was introduced to him when she was 31. She was introduced to Epstein by her ex-boyfriend Flavio Briatore, I don't know. The reason this is important is because this Flavio fella is connected to a lot of sketchy people, or people that we know today to be sketchy. We see this a lot where supermodels are dating people like this. Flavio also has a child with Heidi Klum. Anyway, Flavio and Naomi are pictured on Epstein's yacht, surrounded by a lot of people, including, at the time, teenaged Virginia Guffrey. So there's no denying that Naomi was connected to Epstein and his cohorts. Allegedly, there are emails where Naomi is talking about Ghislaine Maxwell being a close friend of hers, arranging trips to foreign countries. Naomi's spokesperson came out and said Naomi does not recognize this email exchange. There are claims from survivors that she was more involved in Epstein's inner circle than she leads on, allegedly. A lot of these documents remain sealed or unverified. It means that we can't really say she's guilty of any wrongdoing, but she definitely has connections to some of these sketchy people. Another really sketchy name she was allegedly romantically linked to was the disgraced Sean Diddy Combs. This was in the early 2000s and they were seen going to many events together, but they were never confirmed as a couple. A lot of people think that models happen to end up in these circles because they're in the pageant world or the supermodel world, which breeds creepy, weird old men who want to be in charge of that.
According to reports tied to Department of Justice documents, Naomi was mentioned in connection with Epstein's Island, and her name appeared in flight logs for his private jet. One report claims she took 5 trips between 2001 and 2003, including flights connected to the U.S. Virgin Islands, where Epstein owned property known for elite gatherings. Some of those flights were reportedly headed toward Sao Paulo, Brazil, which only added more side eyes online.
This is a direct character assassination. I've always said that I'm not a saint, that I am a work in progress, but I will not be held hostage by my past. What he's done is indefensible.
Shorten your dress. They would never
to me.
They would never make you walk in a dress
on my level,
much
Nicole.
longer.
You never will be on my level. Do not compare yourself to
One of my best friends, she's not here today. She was human trafficked by Naomi Campbell. And Naomi is also Diddy's the godmother. So she started meeting with all these famous people and they connected her with certain people, and then all of a sudden she's at these parties and I see she's doing drugs and getting out of control, and eventually I had to start rescuing her from parties, and then a few of the times I had to rescue her from Naomi Campbell's apartment, sleep over, and then I would pay.
Jeffrey Epstein was also spotted at multiple Victoria's Secret shows, and witnesses claimed he and Naomi were often seen leaving around the same time. Naomi has said she didn't know Epstein and hadn't even heard about him until her ex-boyfriend, Flavio Briatore, introduced them at her 31st birthday party back in 2001. That's her version, and she's sticking to it. Still, critics weren't exactly stunned by her denials, because they say this pattern feels familiar. Every time she's photographed near a powerful man who later faces scandal, she distances herself fast and says she had no clue what was going on. For someone who insists she knew nothing, people online question why she kept ending up in the same elite circles. The same thing came up when her name was linked to Harvey Weinstein and she publicly denied any knowledge of wrongdoing. Now here's where things get even more intense. Even though Naomi said in interviews that she knew nothing about Epstein's crimes, documents released in the Epstein files reportedly included emails that appeared to show communication between them about meeting up. The messages sparked debate, with critics claiming she sounded overly eager, though nothing has been proven in court. And recently, another model stepped forward publicly accusing Naomi of not telling the full truth, which just poured more heat on the situation.
I was sleeping. I had a knock at my door, and I opened my door, and 2 men were there and gave me a pouch and said, "A gift for you."
Did you ask them who they were?
No, I was extremely tired. When they gave me the pouch, I just put it next to my bed and went back to bed.
What did you think the stones were?
They were kind of dirty looking pebbles. They were dirty.
Something like, "You'll never be me, don't ever think that you'll be me," and something like that.
I said that?
Yes.
I can't think, that's something, I'm not that, I'm very much I know the person that I am, and I'm not someone to go and give myself away and say that to anybody. I've never said that in my life. So, but if that's what you remember, I accept that, but doesn't sound like me.
In 5 years, people will still be saying, "She's a..."
I hope so. I hope they do.
Old videos have resurfaced showing Naomi recruiting young women with promises of modeling opportunities. Yet critics point out that many of those women were never publicly seen walking major runways. That alone has fueled heavy speculation online. No one has confirmed what happened behind the scenes, but the unanswered questions are what keep people talking. There were also clips of her in Kenya doing charity work focused on helping children, and now some skeptics are re-examining those moments with raised eyebrows, questioning everything they once applauded. The rumors intensified when a video of American-based Kenyan influencer Elsa Majimbo started circulating again. In the clip, Elsa claimed Naomi brought her into elite social circles and allegedly tried introducing her to wealthy men for dating connections. Elsa said she realized the situation wasn't for her and made it clear she wasn't interested. According to Elsa, that decision caused tension and she felt pushed out of certain opportunities afterward. It's important to note Elsa was 19 at the time and just beginning her career, which made the story hit even harder online. And the controversy doesn't stop there.
Talk about Naomi Campbell. Talk about Naomi Campbell. This Naomi your mentor. Relax. I'm here to tell you today what happened. So, in December of 2020, Naomi was coming to Nairobi to do some shopping. She was on holiday, but on a remote place. So she was in Nairobi doing shopping. And I texted her and she told me she's in Nairobi. So I was so excited to meet her. She was the first celebrity I was ever going to meet. Guys, I was through the roof. She texted me, she was like, hey, I'm here. She texted me the location. I went directly. I went with my brother. So my brother and I, we met her, we did some shopping. And as we're shopping, she's like, oh, you know, the plane that's taking us back actually has a couple more seats. Do you and your brother want to join us on holiday? Hell yes. So I was like, oh, that would be so lovely. But I texted my dad, I said, hey, get the car ready, I'm coming to the house. We are going to the airport in an hour to meet Naomi Campbell so she can take me on vacation. So we go on vacation. We had like a very nice vacation. Naomi took care of me the whole entire time. We were staying on the beach, we were doing this, and then like this, that, eating, just having fun, you know, what people do on vacation. And this one time we were on the beach, Naomi was like, oh, you know, we should do a documentary, a film about you living in Kenya. And I was like, oh yeah, that's fantastic. She introduced me to a couple of people in Hollywood. It was so lovely. So a couple of people she was on vacation with were coming to Nairobi after the vacation. They were staying at the Kempinski. So I went to see them at the Kempinski when the whole thing was over. So I sat down with them. I was talking to one of them, and one of them was like, oh, it's so, like, how did you meet Naomi? And I was like, oh no, I texted her on Instagram, blah, blah. And she was like, oh yeah, she told us like she made you and she built you and she made your career. And I was like, what? No, that's not what happened. And I was like, you mean like helped me and like promoted me? And she was like, no, like what you have is because of her. And I was like, oh yeah, no, that didn't happen. It is very important you remember that part for later. Okay, so time goes by. March 2022. We have jumped into March 2022. I get a phone call. My phone is ringing. Naomi Campbell. Oh, so I pick up, I'm like, hey sis, like, how are you doing? And she's like, Elsa, how dare you? Oh, so I'm in shock, right? I don't know what's going on. So let me tell you what happened, the context of this phone call. So I had just finished the previous year I had done a documentary on my life, about bullying, about growing up with colorism, all these things, about comedy, where I fell in love with comedy. So the film was debuting at Tribeca Film Festival, and someone from Tribeca asked Naomi if she's coming, and Naomi thought the film was the film she had suggested to me on the beach about me leaving Kenya. So I was like, no, that's not what it's about. I tried explaining it to her, and then she was like, I'll sue you for the rights of this movie, and you know I'll win, right? So I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm like, this is crazy. I'm telling you, it's not about that. So I tell her, let me call you tomorrow. And she asked me, like, why didn't you tell me when I told you at the beach? And I was like, you're Naomi Campbell. You know, like, I was starstruck. It took me very long to like process that moment. And I was like, I'll call you tomorrow. So the next day I had a flight. The flight I was taking from Botswana to Ghana, where I met that guy actually. That's the time I was taking that flight. So I was supposed to call her the next day, but it was a 22-hour flight, and in Ethiopia there was no service, so I couldn't call her. So I called her the day after. Immediately I landed in Ghana. So she's the first person I called. I'm like, hey, blah, blah, like, are you free to talk? And she tells me, you were supposed to call me tomorrow. You were supposed to call me yesterday. You didn't call me yesterday, which she was very right about. And she said, I have the Met Gala. And she was like, this is the last time I'm speaking to you. Have a nice life. And she hung up, which I was very saddened by the situation, right? But I was like, if that's how she truly feels, because I respect people's space. So I was like, if that's how she truly feels, fine, it's okay. So I let it go. So after that, like a few months, things started going very badly for me. Things started going haywire. And I didn't think it was, I thought it was because of the situation, let me not lie. But I was like, also it can be sure. So I was like, let me go. Because also having someone like Naomi Campbell not liking you in the industry is not a good thing. So I went to her, I apologized. I'd already apologized when the situation had happened, but I went and I apologized again and again. I started calling her, I started texting her. And then one day she just texted me and she was like, stop calling me. I have a child to take care of. So after that, I just said, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. I started drinking. That's why I even quit alcohol. I started drinking. I started drinking a lot. Yeah. And then, because I wasn't sure why things were going so wrong and I couldn't put my finger on it. And then a few months later, I met Edward Enifel at a party, and Edward Enifel is he's one of the people I adore the most. So I was like, oh my goodness, that's Edward, I have to go say hi. So I'm like, hey Edward, I'm such a big fan. And he looks at me, he's like, I know you. And then he said something that made me think the situation with Naomi was causing like some of the trials and tribulations I was currently going through.
Back in 2010, Naomi was called to testify in court during the trial of former Liberian President Charles Taylor. She confirmed receiving what were described as blood diamonds while staying in South Africa, though she said she didn't know their origin at the time. Taylor was later convicted in connection with arming rebels in Sierra Leone, a case that shocked the world and dragged several high-profile names into headlines. Between 1991 and 2002, during Sierra Leone's brutal civil war, Charles Taylor was accused of backing rebel forces responsible for horrific violence against civilians, including amputations that shocked the world. While that chaos unfolded, Taylor gained access to valuable resources, including diamonds that later became part of a major controversy involving Naomi Campbell. When she was first questioned about receiving those diamonds, she denied it and even walked out of an interview, which instantly raised eyebrows. But once she was summoned to testify in court, the story shifted. Naomi admitted she did receive diamonds, claiming 2 men showed up late at night and handed them to her. She said she didn't know where they came from and later donated them to charity. That explanation might have closed the case for some, but not for everyone watching. Here's where it gets messy. Her former assistant Carol White and actress Mia Farrow, who were present during that trip, publicly suggested Naomi was aware of who Charles Taylor was and where the diamonds came from. Carol claimed Naomi was excited after receiving the stones and even showed them off. Those statements directly contradicted Naomi's earlier version of events, and that clash of accounts kept the scandal alive. On top of that, critics have also pointed to past legal troubles involving allegations of mistreatment of staff between 1998 and 2009, including multiple assault convictions tied to disputes with employees, which only added more controversy to her already complicated public image. Back in 1998, her assistant, Georgina Galanis, accused Naomi of violently attacking her after a dispute at a Canadian airport. According to court documents obtained by Georgina's lawyer, Calvin Barry, Naomi allegedly grabbed her by the throat and struck her with a phone during an argument about customs delays. The filing claimed Georgina was left shaken, collapsing onto a sofa in tears. Those accusations made headlines fast and added to Naomi's growing list of legal troubles. Soon after that case, Naomi hired another assistant, Vanessa Frisbee, and history seemed to repeat itself. Vanessa alleged that during a heated disagreement, Naomi physically confronted her. Naomi denied the accusation and responded by filing a lawsuit of her own, turning the situation into a full-blown legal battle. The back and forth only intensified public scrutiny and kept her name circulating in court reports. And that's not where the drama ends. A little over a year ago, reports surfaced that authorities were reviewing financial activity tied to her charity after questions were raised about donated funds. Allegations claim money meant for charitable causes was used for luxury expenses like designer shopping, travel, and private flights. Naomi has denied wrongdoing, but critics continue to question the financial management. Then there's the widely discussed 25-bedroom eco-style mansion, reportedly gifted by a Russian billionaire ex-partner for her 41st birthday. The island property's dramatic design has fueled online speculation, especially as conspiracy discussions swirl, though there is no verified evidence linking it to criminal activity. Some online commentators even claimed her private island would be the last place investigators would ever think to search in connection to Epstein, though there's no proof of that. Still, the rumors keep spreading. After years of authorities reportedly dismissing speculation around Naomi, people now believe investigators may have taken a closer look at her repeated ties to powerful men facing scandals. That shift alone has the internet buzzing non-stop. Then came even louder whispers. Words circulating online claims that alleged prison phone calls connected to Diddy supposedly mention Naomi in ways that raised eyebrows. None of those details have been officially released and nothing has been confirmed publicly. But the chatter has people glued to their screens. Social media detectives immediately started digging into how deep her connection with Diddy really went, and what they found only added more heat to the conversation. Naomi and Diddy were often seen together at major events, including his 54th birthday celebration in London and high-profile album parties. She appeared to be part of his elite circle, attending glamorous gatherings that later became the subject of intense speculation online. People also resurfaced the moment Diddy flew to London with Young Miami to surprise Naomi with a cake celebrating her honorary doctorate. Critics say he doesn't make grand gestures like that without a strong bond. Now, some extreme online theories are even labeling her as a key figure behind the scenes of alleged misconduct, though there is absolutely no verified evidence supporting those claims. As you can see, Naomi's name has been tied to controversy for decades, from legal battles to high-profile friendships that later exploded into scandals. For years, she managed to step away from the heat, but now critics say the pressure feels different. Social media is louder, receipts are being reposted, and people are demanding answers instead of excuses. Some even believe the walls could finally be closing in, though no new charges have been announced. One commenter wrote, "If you read the Epstein files, why did Naomi still associate with Epstein after he pleaded guilty to soliciting sex from a minor, inviting him to events, and asking to charter his private plane?" Another brought up Elsa Majimbo again, saying, "Remember Elsa Majimbo accused Naomi of setting her up?" Elsa has previously spoken about feeling overwhelmed and struggling emotionally during that period, and supporters say her story deserves attention. Now it's your turn. What do you think about Naomi Campbell allegedly being connected to all this drama? And do you believe any real consequences are coming her way? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and click here to watch the next messy breakdown. I'll catch you on the next one.